Good morning everyone, and welcome to another green marble crochet tutorial. It was a little overcast earlier on, but now the sun is shining and the birds are singing for this lovely spring equinox day. It's a little windy, but that's okay, because we are going to be making the slightly more complicated version of our simple flower. And here's the one we made the other night. And here is a slightly more complicated version, which isn't that much more complicated, but we've got a few more stitches to work with. Okay, let's get started. So, once again, I will be using the Itsumu yarn. I still can't find the ply on the label, but yeah, it's 100 grams at 194 meters. And 100% acrylic. Okay, and today I will be working with a beautiful soft pink yarn. So today I'll be using my 6mm hook. And let's begin. So find the end of your yarn, and just like before, we'll do our slip knot. Now adjust the knot to the hook, and just like the first time, we chain 4. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. There we have our chain 4. And we slip stitch into the first stitch to form our chain circle. And remember to keep your chain circle loose so you can put your hook back through, which we'll be doing after we chain up 2. And then we're going to be double crochet 9 times into the center of that chain circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I think that's the 9th one. Let's count together, shall we? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. And we slip stitch into the top of that chain 2, just like before. So through that stitch there, pull through. Let's count again just to make sure we've got the right stitches. So we're going to count 10, including the slip stitch, or the stitch we slipped into. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now, we're going to increase the size of the circle, which means we're going to put 2 single crochets into each stitch along. So we're going to chain up once, which will count as our first stitch, and then single crochet in beside that, and that's 2 stitches. So 2 stitches, single crochets in each stitch along till we reach 20 stitches. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and then into that last stitch just there we have 19 and 20. Okay, now have a sip of coffee. That's good. And let's begin. So we need to slip stitch into the top of our chain 1, which is, be careful in looking for it, it's just here. So slip stitch, and let's count our stitches to make sure we're correct. Okay, so including the stitch we slipped into, there should be 20 stitches around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Perfect. Okay. Now, starting the same as we did for our simple flower, we are counting the slip stitch as our first stitch, and in beside that we'll put a double crochet. So 1, 2, there's our double crochet, and into the next stitch we're going to triple crochet. So remember, that's yarn over once and twice, insert hook, pull yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2 for a triple crochet. And again into that same stitch we will triple crochet. 1, 2, 3. Now for the next stitch, in that same stitch we're going to quadruple crochet, and to do that we yarn over once, twice, and 3 times, insert hook, pull yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So it's pull through 2 4 times for a quadruple crochet. Okay, so now we form the peak, which is chain 3 and slip stitch into the first chain, just like our simple flower. Now into the next stitch we quadruple crochet again, so 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and into that same stitch we triple crochet, 1, 2, 3, and again into that stitch a triple crochet, and into the next stitch we double crochet, 1, 2, and beside that double crochet we slip stitch like so, and there we have our first petal. Okay, so into the next stitch we slip stitch, followed by a double crochet in the same stitch, and then into the next stitch we triple crochet, 1, 2, 3, and again in that stitch we triple crochet, and into that same stitch we are going to quadruple crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then chain 3 for the peak, and slip stitch first chain like so, and into the next stitch another quadruple crochet. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we triple crochet into that same stitch, 1, 2, 3, and again triple crochet into the same stitch, and 1, 2, 3, and then into the next stitch we double crochet, so, and slip stitch beside the double crochet, for petal number 2. Okay, so slip stitch into the next stitch and double crochet beside the slip stitch, and into the next stitch we triple crochet, and again into that stitch triple crochet, and quadruple crochet into that same stitch. 1, 2, messy sausage, 3 and 4, and chain 3 for the peak. 1, 2, 3, slip stitch, first chain, and 1, 2, 3 quadruple stitch into the next stitch along. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, and triple stitch into that same stitch. 1, 2, 3, and again into that same stitch, triple stitch. 1, 2 and 3, and there is petal number 3. Okay, moving on to the next stitch is slip stitch followed by a double crochet. Hang on, did I get that right? Ooh. Okay, now slip stitch into the next stitch followed by a double crochet, and then a triple crochet into the next stitch along, followed by another triple crochet, 3, followed by a quadruple crochet into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now grab yourself a little more yarn and form the peak. So 1, 2 and 3, slip stitch into the first chain and quadruple stitch into the next stitch along. So that one just there, and 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so triple crochet into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, and again triple crochet, same stitch. 1, 2, 3, and into the next stitch a double crochet. 1, 2, and slip stitch into the same stitch. And we have one petal left. Okay, so slip stitch into the next stitch and double crochet into that same stitch and triple crochet into the next stitch, and again triple crochet into the next stitch, and then quadruple crochet into that same stitch. 3 and 4 and chain 3, slip stitch to form your peak. Oop. And 2, 3, quadruple crochet into the next stitch along. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and triple crochet beside that stitch. 1, 2, 3, and again triple crochet. 1, 2 and 3. Now into the next stitch it's quite tight, but you can slip your hook through, maybe pull it a little. So double crochet through there. Oh, there we go. Double crochet, and to finish we slip stitch through there, like so. There we go. Now turn over and cut your yarn pull yarn through that stitch to bind off, like so. There we go. All good. Now remember, we find the space beneath our last stitch, which is just here, and we insert the hook through that space, like so. And then we take our yarn, pull that through to the back of the work, like so. There we go. Now we take our darning needle and we insert a beginning stretch of yarn and weave that through the backs of our beginning stitches, like so. Just weave it through a few, like that, and then trim off that excess yarn, like so. And taking our last bit of yarn, thread that onto your darning needle. Oh, try not to be messy though. It's not always easy. And thread that on. Weave that into the backs of the last row of stitches that you did. Let's say go halfway through this petal. Just a little. And there we go. And trim off your excess yarn, like so. And there you have your completed, slightly more complicated, pretty pink Spring Equinox flower. Have another sip of coffee. That's good. So thank you once again for joining me for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed watching. And once again, I'll link the inspiration in the description below for the maple leaf. Thank you to Happy Berry Crochet for inspiring me. And yeah, thanks for joining me, and I hope you can join me again. I'm not sure what I'll be doing next, but hopefully filming on location at the beach or something equally as lovely. Okay, so yeah, thanks for joining me.